Let's bring in Larry Lindsey. Larry, it's good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Some are speculating, that perhaps behind the scenes there's kind of heads are exploding. Perhaps the Treasury Secretary's head, if it's true that, Mr. Pulte had something to. I don't know. It's hard to know from the outside what exactly happened here. But what's your response to what we do know?
Well, first of all, you're right. We don't have any of the facts. So what we're doing is really speculating. But if the president were to ask me my opinion about prosecuting the Fed chair over construction costs, I would say he shouldn't do it. It's very, very foolish. I mean, first of all, and Kelly, I know you're sitting down, and so am I. I hope your viewers are. This is Washington. A big cost overrun is happens all the time. I mean, it's like Rick back in Casablanca saying, "I'm shocked, shocked, shocked." There were cost overruns in the construction of the Fed. The second piece of that is, if there are cost overruns, is it really the chairman's responsibility? I mean, when JP Morgan builds a new headquarters, how many hours a day does Jamie Dimon spend going over the construction costs? To have the Fed chair have to do that in detail, I don't think is a good use of his time. So I think the whole issue is foolish to begin with, and I think the president was foolish to bring it up.
The president might say, well, my larger goal is to, replace the Fed chair. And this I'm just trying to come up with a line of reasoning here. I'm sure there are those who would also watch the market response first and foremost. And, those who that's why I mentioned Treasury Secretary Bessent. His main goal, I remember him saying this in a podcast. He said, I'm the salesman for America's Treasury bonds. It's my job to make sure that people around the world are buying them, that people in this country are buying them. Firing the Fed chair is typically the kind of thing that makes people less inclined to hold them. So I can't imagine he would want to see this come down. That said, the reaction today is somewhat muted. And perhaps that's because the market is correctly, understanding that maybe this isn't going anywhere. But what if it does? What if it is?
It's not going anywhere. It's also unclear how the whole process started within the administration. There are reports that it was maybe Mr. Pulte who did his own investigation, forwarded the results of that to the Justice Department. The president said last night that he knew nothing about it. I don't know if that's true, but we don't know why they brought it. Now, one thing I want to add, because it's not in the general commentary, is there are no real heroes here. And mentioned Caesar's wife. I mean, if the Fed wants to cry, don't take away our independence because we're not political, well, they shouldn't behave in a way that makes people think they're political. I mean, Kelly, how many times in the last 110 plus years of the Fed's existence have they initiated a rate cycle the meeting before presidential election?
But I'm sympathetic to that one because that August jobs report was so bad and the carry trade was imploding.
Well, okay.
I know a lot of people say now that was total politics, but the nerd in me kind of understands.
Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter whether they do it as far as the economy goes. It doesn't matter whether they do it that meeting or the next. But the answer was exactly once. It was unprecedented in a very close election. Then there was the behavior of the Fed under Yellen in 2016. In 2015, the summary of economic projections said they were going to do 4 rate hikes in 2016. Well, their first one was after Trump was elected. In other words, in the run up to the election, they decided they didn't want to take any chances on a rate hike. Again, the reason for the delay, where they basically countermanded the forward guidance they'd given, was pretty clear. Now, what you had was you had a sotto voce understanding here That's still political, penalizing it politically. You don't have to have something like this happen for it to be considered political. So I don't think the Fed's made as much effort as perhaps it should to not get involved in politics.